Welcome everyone to our weekly AMA. As a reminder, we host these pretty much every Friday at 11:15 a.m. Pacific time, or that's about 6:15 UTC time. Also record them and post them up on the YouTube. So that's probably how most of you will be watching this. So really excited today because the topic of today's AMA, once again, is our NFT Playground. And after, copious fanfare, incremental updates, and stay tuned posts on my behalf for the rollout, our official sort of like slow roll of NFT trading on Testnet officially starts today. So this session is devoted to, number one, answering a couple of top of mind questions from the community about the upcoming launch, and then two, giving you all a sneak peek and walkthrough of the new Playground site so that you'll be ready to start testing first thing on Monday morning. So that said, before we begin and dive into questions and walkthroughs and hand over the screen to Mahoney to kind of walk you guys through the new product that we're about to launch, I'm gonna hand the mic off quickly to our CTO, Will Carter, for just a quick engineering update on what we're working on and some other things that are happening simultaneously.
Thanks, Casey. So there aren't too many major kind of updates that I want to give this week. I'll give a broader kind of sense for what we've been up to. Obviously, the NFT Playground was a big focus for this week, getting it up and ready, and I think it's looking pretty good for its first iteration. So I think Mahoney and the rest of us are pretty excited to get you guys to play with it and try it out. Some other things we're working on in parallel to that, the Unity SDK has been going through some pretty big changes. So we're hoping that we can get that all cleaned up and documented and ready for you guys to try in the upcoming weeks. Other big projects on the engineering side are upgrading the primary networks. So we're going to be doing a little bit of reorg in the code base, which a lot of you probably won't notice because the code base is currently private at the moment, though it will eventually be made open source. But some of this will help us keep current with the most recent versions of Avalanche. So for many of you who've read the white paper, our platform is based off a fork of Avalanche. So we're going to be kind of bringing in some of the updates that they've been pushing out around subnet interoperability, which is a really important feature for implementing our metaverse as a service vision. So that's another thing going on in parallel. On the validator side, we did, obviously, I think we mentioned this last week, send out invites for the first validator cohort. I think I've only gotten about half of them to reply. So if you do see this, please reply as soon as possible. I'm going to be sending out coins to the validators who did reply today. And if we don't get the rest of them onboarded quickly, then I'm going to go ahead and probably push in the second validator cohort sooner than expected. So again, if you were emailed for the first validator cohort, please get us your information, your Telegram handle, and a C-chain address. I believe that's basically it. We already introduced 2 new engineers in the last call. And yeah, everyone's working around the clock to get the stuff out the door. So we're excited for Mahoney to show it off.
Thanks, Will. And just as like a quick reminder on the validator things, basically, so if you were in the first cohort, you should have received an email last week saying that you were selected. And then I also reached out personally to all of our first cohort members yesterday, just trying to track down those telegrams. So if you didn't receive either of those 2 emails, you are not in the first cohort. But again, as Will said, as we continue onboarding, we're going to be opening up to new cohorts, et cetera. So obviously getting a lot of questions for that, because I did send out a community-wide update as well last week, just kind of telling people that onboarding was starting and that we had some momentum. So if you didn't get any emails yet, hold tight. You will definitely hear from us when you are selected. I will chase you down. Anyway, so Next, we're going to head into a few questions from the community about the upcoming NFT Playground launch. So again, we've been doing a ton of stuff. We've been highlighting NFT creators. We're just now wrapping our highlight of the full 10 winners of the competition. So that was kind of posted earlier this week. Have 5 new NFTs and creators that we've been showcasing. And yeah, we are excited to launch, a next set of quests and this tech. So I guess to start off, the number one question that we've been getting in many different words and from multiple community members is generally, what's the deal with the NFT Playground and when can we expect a launch? Mahoney, do you want to just give us an update on what you've been working on this week and where we're at currently?
Yeah, absolutely. So this week has been really centered around the experience of the playground, user experience, and the flow that you would expect from kind of a pleasant usage of the site itself, as well as making sure that not only for this launch for the first week, the first 5 winners, but also that we are well prepared for the second introduction of the winners into this NFT Playground. So the site, whenever it will go live sometime today, will have a countdown to the actual opening of the site, full availability on, I believe, correct me, Casey, Monday, 2 p.m. UTC?
Yep.
So that will go up. You'll be able to visit that link, and at that time, it will open up. You'll see what I'm about to show you, and you'll be able to use the site similar to what we're going to do in the walkthrough.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. And just to kind of answer some preemptive questions, the reason why we are doing the countdown to opening it up rather than just kind of letting people test asynchronously is we're trying to push as many people as possible to kind of dive into the playground at once. Obviously, that'll be a really good way for us to kind of test like how many transactions this new playground can take and all of that stuff. So basically, yeah, we're going to launch the playground site, but it'll just have a countdown. And the idea is that over the next couple of days, I'm going to be releasing a couple of sort of limited edition quests that get the word out so that we can try to get as many simultaneous testers as possible on Monday morning to dive into the system. So that is why we are being a little bit coy about it, shall we say. Second question is from Tenedo, who asked, I would like to clarify whether we will test the purchase of NFTs using L1 coins?
Yes. So within the NFT Playground, the base currency is our base currency. It's the L1 token. And you'll see in there that it'll display your balance from your wallet when you're connected, and as well as give you access to the faucet and Explorer as well from within the user interface. So yeah, it's all based on L1.
Anthony asks, will NFTs show up in my Lamina1 wallet?
Which is a great question. We're looking at that right now. There would be some not significant amount of effort to allow these tokens to appear in the wallet, but that's actively being looked into right now. I wouldn't expect it to take too long if we're going to, so we'll give the community a little heads up if we get there and when they could expect it, but work in progress.
Ivan Krypton asks, hi there, what do you expect from NFTs on Lamina1? Will they be used only for the ecosystem, for example, avatar stuff, or is this just for trading? Will it be only able for your blockchain, or are we also planning some sort of like multi-chain NFT stuff?
I can answer the first half. Will, if you have thoughts about the second half first.
Yeah, we definitely are looking at a multi-chain approach here. I mean, part of our metaverse as a service architecture is basically utilizing these subnets for anyone to build their own blockchain. Part of the advantage to doing that, rather than everyone building on the same blockchain, say like Polygon, for example, is that you get your own dedicated, computational resources, throughput, basically. And you have, depending on how you set up that subnet, you could have much cheaper transaction fees and kind of much more predictable performance. The downside to launching your own chain, or a concern for launching your own chain, obviously, is interoperability. You don't want to like close yourself off to the rest of the ecosystem, which could like endanger your assets or being able to be posted on, say, like major marketplaces or exchanges. So part of our approach here is that by utilizing subnets, you can launch your own blockchain, get your own dedicated resources. You can design an entire NFT experience around whatever your metaverse experience is. So if it's games, all the NFTs on your blockchain might be in-game assets. They might be avatars. They might be in-game currency. And then it would all be immediately interoperable with the rest of the ecosystem that's built on top of L1. So the NFTs we're looking at should be interoperable throughout the L1 ecosystem. That's the goal. And then we're also looking, I think we've mentioned this in the past, at ensuring that we have decentralized bridges, or at least very secure bridges to some of the other EVM ecosystems out there. So like Polygon, Ethereum, Avalanche, etc.
Great. And I'll just tack on to that in terms of what they'll be used for. In the context of the NFT Playground, so we're showcasing 10 visual artists with these Playground NFTs. Underneath kind of the plumbing, we're also, as part of the Unity SDK, extending that functionality to be via the same sort of mechanism, the ability to transfer assets the same way that you would transfer these NFTs. So right now it's a trading and kind of purchasing playground experience to get the community engaged and get ideas flowing out to us, so we could get some really good feedback on the direction that it heads. But it's pretty much the initial look at how do we simplify this experience as much as possible, so when your experiences or creator experiences are built on the network, you can have a level set expectation of what your users are going to see, and sort of that UX that might just serve as a model for you to create your own experiences.
Thanks, guys. And I'm going to take this last question. It's from one of our super active users, Ami Chains, who asks, are there any new quests coming up alongside the launch? So yes, we know we have been light on quests this week. Usually we launch new quests every Monday, but we had to take a little bit of a break this week as we were getting the NFT Playground up and running. But basically, this afternoon, 2 limited edition quests will drop. The first quest is going to be simply to watch this AMA and get familiar with the walkthrough. There will be a secret code embedded in the description of the AMA. So going to be posting that as soon as we get the recording back for this, and YouTube kind of uploads and scrubs everything that it needs. And then our second quest is going to be simply retweeting a countdown post that basically sets up, testing will begin at 2 p.m. UTC on Monday. That's 7 a.m. my time. So I'm going to wake up early, drink a bunch of coffee, and make sure that I am ready to answer as many questions as we have once testing begins. But the idea is, again, as I kind of mentioned earlier, that we can try to get as many community members as possible to kind of start testing simultaneously. We want to not necessarily like break the system, but we really want to like flood it and see what happens. So those will drop this afternoon, and we'll run through the next couple of days. So if anyone's looking for some limited edition XP that no one else will be able to get after 2 days, this weekend's a good chance for that. And then on Monday morning, when we do drop the playground and the countdown ends, we will have 4 playground testing related quests that drop on Monday. And we've got like a really fun sort of like testing game planned out for everyone, where it's basically going to be, you're going to mint a bunch of NFTs, then you've got to sell NFTs. And the idea is it's going to be a sort of gotta collect them all game, where you're going to have to push multiple transactions to buy and sell NFTs to be able to get the full collection from our first 5 winning artists. So that'll take us through next week. And then the following week, we're going to be dropping a next set of quests, expanding the playground functionality, and then promoting our next 5 artists that following week. So we're really excited. We've been planning a lot and having a lot of fun over the last couple of weeks to get this ready for you. But without further ado, let's stop talking about the playground and let's start showing it to you. So I'm going to hand this over to Mahoney again. And if you have any questions while we're walking through it, feel free to drop them in comments and we will get to them at the end.
Awesome. Thank you. So I'm going to share my screen here. Make sure I'm good. Go live. Let me know that you can see me.
Yeah, there we go.
Great, here we are. So this is the NFT Playground. What you'll see when you visit the site, when the announcement's made, is the countdown Casey had mentioned. The goal is to keep this extremely simple for you. Directly interact with Metamask for transactions or a compatible wallet you'll see as I start making transactions within the playground. You'll see this connect wallet button up in the corner. The intention is you will have a wallet configured in Metamask. I do believe we have documentation, basic docs in the user guide. So here, if I actually connect my wallet, I select Metamask, ask to log in, and I'll do that. And since I'm logged in, I've logged in before, it automatically comes up with my wallet address. It tells me how much L1 I have. I am on the Testnet network currently. Down in the corner here, you have resources always available. So you'll have your L1 balance available to you. This is a link to the web wallet you all might be familiar with, as well as the token faucet and blockchain explorer. So the transactions that you make through the playground will be available on the explorer, and we'll go through that. I'm starting as a new user that I've been here before, but the idea is a new user will have this button up in the corner of my NFTs. It says I have 5 mints left, and so I've used 2. If I click this, the intention is to fire off a mint call to our playground contract. I hit confirm, and what you'll see is I got a successful mint. This is important. There will be a secret code here that's X'd out at the moment for the demonstration, but this secret code will fit in with one of the quests. You'll also see there's a transaction ID here that's highlighted and linked, and if I click on that, this is actually the Blockchain Explorer transaction information about what I just did when I minted. So a token was minted to my address right here. You can click here and see my own transactions. I can also go to the actual number right here is the unique token ID. If I click there, and now I see that I have Jackal Girls NFT. It's been minted to me, and as I transfer it or list it for sale, transfers will show up here on the Explorer. So that's a good way to just kind of look around and see what these transactions look like, who's doing what on the network. But remember that this secret code will pop up when you mint in your My NFTs section. So I'm going to exhaust my last 2. And your goal is to collect all 5 unique NFTs. So you won't get, I mean, once I got all 5. I hit the lottery, but so you'll see I have doubles. And so what I want to do is basically keep these 2. Say, here's kind of what this information will look like for an NFT that you own. You have the ability from here to list your NFTs for sale. And those will appear in Browse NFT listings right here. So there's a basic flow to everything you do on this site that is a behavior that changes the state of the NFT. For example, if I list it for sale right now, or I want to list this because I have 2, you get confirmed. It's going to sell for 1.5 L1. That's a static price that's been set for all of them, just in terms of simplicity, and so we don't have kind of super high listings, super low listings. This helps us keep it underneath the faucet retrieval amount of 2L1, so you can always kind of go to the faucet if you need to. So if I hit confirm, you'll see I have right here, this will be changed, but right now it's asking me if I want to transfer ownership of my number 53 token to the Playground's marketplace. I do. You'll see down here, it's standing by for confirmation. And this will stay here down the bottom. You'll always have kind of a loading indicator that something's waiting for your input. So say I accidentally closed this. Listing attempt failed, or rejected the request. If I accept the request, come in here. So step 1 is you're approving the marketplace to work on your behalf. The second one is your actual listing. And then once it goes away, and you'll see down here in green, a new item has been listed, token 53. And so when I go to the NFT listings, I'll now see my token 53 here. And the gold bar here indicates that you are the owner of these listed NFTs. You're the seller. This one right here is sold by somebody else. So if I went in there, I would not only be able to see who's selling it and go look at them on the Explorer, but I'd also be able to purchase from here. So why don't we go ahead and purchase one. And I've got 1.9 L1 currently. So this is going to make it so that I'll need more later if I have to purchase more. Here's my buy item. You have a price. I go to confirm, and the same flow here. It will confirm the purchase and item bought. Once these kind of approved, accepted notifications come up, that means at least one node on the network has validated what you've done. So at that point, it's official that you now own that NFT, and now it's in my NFT section.
As a quick caveat, Mahoney, we cannot see your Metamask, which I'm sure is a security feature for Metamask, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. So here's...
I believe if you make that window full screen, we might be able to see it. If you click on the green circle in the upper left-hand corner, make the window full screen. Yep, I think that we'll be able to see the pop-up. I've noticed that with other applications. I'm not totally sure, but we could try it. Oh,
here we go. I can actually do this. It's probably because my entire screen isn't being shown. If I do this now, can you see it?
Oh, yeah, now we can see it.
Okay, great. Nice. So whenever I was pointing at these notifications, these loading notifications that were coming up, and I'll go through it again. That was also popping up MetaMask with requests for me to verify the behavior. So we'll go ahead and do that again. In this case, I'm going to go to the NFT listings. And let's see, I want to buy one, say Dive. I don't have this one yet, but I only have 0.4 L1. so I'm not going to be able to buy it. So what I'm going to do is go to the token faucet here. What's really helpful is it's going to pre-populate my address coming from the browser. So it's already in here. I can just hit request 2L1. And you can do that 5 times within 24 hours. So I'll just do that a few times here. And I'll go back. And now I've got 6L1 and can go ahead and purchase Dive. So, or no, this one's mine actually. So what I'll do is I'll switch to somebody else to show you the buying experience. And the way that I would do that, I have multiple accounts that are connected from my Metamask. So this is the seller that just listed the item. I'm going to switch to another account. And now you'll see immediately I have my new address. These are no longer gold, meaning that I don't own those. And here are the 3 that this user actually owns. So I'll go ahead and just so we have this one up here as well. So when I go to list for sale, this is what you weren't seeing before. Can you see Metamask now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So it's asking me if I want to sell this, which is number 8 of the series of unique token IDs. And I say I do want to. And now what it's going to do is stand by for confirmation for me to actually create the listing. So before it was an approval to use for the marketplace to list for you. This is the actual listing creation taking place. And now it's official. That NFT is up on the marketplace with its gold border. So this one's mine, and these ones are not. In terms of buying NFT, if I go to buy now right here, same process, you'll get confirming. You'll see buy item here. Here's the actual price. So you have to make sure you have 1.5L1. The transaction will fail. And then when you confirm, it'll leave the listings. It'll confirm that it was purchased. And when you go back to your listings, now you have the NFT. And you'll see, since you're the actual owner, it will say here you're the owner. But if you're not, it will be a link to who actually owns that NFT. Let me think here. So when you've listed one for sale, which we did with my other account, and this account just purchased it, what you'll see is over here, this was previously grayed out, but there's a button called withdraw proceeds. So when an item that you've sold or listed has been sold on the playground, this will update to show you how much proceeds you have available that you can retrieve into your wallet. So it's a pull action, and this will update after this sale takes place. So since it's available, I'll click here, and it's just a simple process. I tell it I want to withdraw my funds, and same as anything else, there's a withdraw funds method. I confirm it. And then supposed to be a modal there. But what'll actually happen is the proceeds will go directly into your wallet balance. And so if you've listed several, like my first account, these proceeds will stack up, and that's why the piggy bank icon's there. And you can pull them into your balance whenever you'd like. From that point, those new funds should appear in your wallet, the same as anything else. Disconnecting from the site. This is fairly seamless if you're done here, or you want to, if it sets up the wrong account for you. I'll show you the process that Connect Wallet gave me at the beginning. So when I connect and choose Metamask, Metamask is brought up and it asks me which of my accounts I want to connect. So for the sake of simplicity, when in doing this walkthrough, I've selected to, and I say connect. And that will connect me as the first account that I had chosen. So the way that you can switch your accounts is to either select them from My Accounts, or if you click this connected button, the ones that you've chosen, you can actually switch between. So as I switch between these accounts, you can see the state in the background showing me that I own one of these with my contract man account, and meanwhile, this user isn't listing any. And so this user has a lot of the NFTs. I think I have, do I have them all? I think there's one missing. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
You're
and so
missing our Gaia Angel. Yeah.
That's right. See, so the goal being as one of the achievements in the quest is to collect all 5 of these in your My NFTs section. So when you mint 5 and you end up with doubles such as this, your goal is to go and put those, list them for sale, like we did here. Those will give you some proceeds, but then also to visit the browser and scroll through to find the ones that you need and purchase those instead. And so the end result being that you have the 5 unique NFTs in your own section, and these are attached to your wallet, so they won't appear in the web wallet right now, but those are NFTs that are associated with your wallet address. And again, as we make some updates to the wallet itself and the documentation, our goal is to let you see these things in context. And so one of the ways you can do that right now is by going to the Chain Explorer. And when I go to the Chain Explorer, this is very much a summary of all the transactions that have been made. I'm going to go look for some that I just made in this demo. So if I go to all tokens, there'll be a different name. This is the test set of tokens, but you'll see a new one bubble to the top very fast. But if I go in here, this is the actual contract for the playground itself, the items. And you see all of the calls that have been made against the contract. You can see my user accounts here making those calls. And if I go to one and say I go to believe tokens, yep, so it knows that I hold 3. It'll give you the name and the address. On the actual token page, which is great, we come in here. I want to see my tokens. Here we go. So if I come down here and say, there we are. So on the actual token page, you have all of the transfers that have taken place globally. On token holders, you actually have a list of all of the addresses that hold these tokens, what percentage of the total supply out there you hold. And within inventory, this is great because it will show you each unique token that's been minted, which owner currently possesses it, including ones that are listed. The marketplace owns it. And I'm able to go to one of these unique IDs, and this is where I'll be able to view it in context, get a list of transfers that have taken place. So if you minted it, listed it to the network, someone else purchased it, there's a record there. And then the metadata associated with this NFT, which is going to be updated before the actual launch, just to make it more accurate for each of the first 5 winners. But you'll also see here there's some useful utilities for NFT owners in the future. Once you've gone to the NFT page, you can view its contract, which when this is verified, you'd be able to see all the transactions, also verify the source code itself. you'd be able to just copy the token ID or the contract address. There's a copy button everywhere on the Explore site. And then also something that's really helpful is, I'm not going to pop this on the screen because then who knows what will happen on the YouTube. But you get a QR code for multiple different elements of whether it's an address or it's an NFT or so on. That'll be really useful for NFT creators post Playground when you have your own listed, that you can take that QR code and be able to use it in other situations that are external to just Lamina1 wallet or things like the Playground. So I think that covers everything, Casey. Is there anything that you want to be certain we caught and maybe I missed?
No, that's honestly great. I mean, I wanted to just shout out again Block Scout for doing that Explorer. It's obviously, we've done like one post on sort of like how to use an Explorer, and I think we've got another one that's going to come up that is even more like how to use the Explorer with NFTs. So keep an eye on that for more of our week 2 quests. But that's also something like from an education standpoint that we're really excited about, and was one of the big reasons why we chose Block Scout as our kind of site explorer to begin with. But yeah, I mean, that covers the challenges, that covers what it is going to do. It should feel fairly simple and be relatively intuitive. In terms of a next step, so yeah, this is going to go live. I'm also writing a blog post now that'll have a couple more sort of screen grab tutorials that show people exactly how to achieve each of the quests. So stay tuned for that, and that'll all be kind of up on the website. We do have one question that Jackal Girl dropped in the chat while we were chatting, and it was regarding our response to Ivan Krypton's question about, multi-chain and, what sort of uses the NFTs will have. And her question was, so would we need to have a set of community standards for types of NFTs in order for them to be interoperable across all of the subnets? I think she's just curious on, how exactly this might work. Do we have an answer yet?
Interoperability means like a few things, or can mean a few things. There's like interoperability as in, will your asset be compatible with, say, a marketplace? And generally speaking, I think a lot of marketplaces do expect one of the NFT ERC standards. So I think it would depend on the marketplace, but for universal compatibility with most of them, you would probably want to go down the 721 or 1155 route. But I think like probably the more interesting interoperability, at least in my mind, is like when you start using these NFTs for more than just trading and selling, when you're actually using them within experiences, then interoperability means a very different thing. And that's like, is the asset compatible with the environment in which you're using it? And that's a much harder problem to solve because these experiences are going to be built within different tools, within different rendering engines. And that's something that takes like a lot of collaboration within the ecosystem and industry to come up with a solution for. It's something, it's one of the reasons why we're inserting ourselves into a lot of the metaverse standard organizations that are popping up. And Tony, who's our CPO, has had a lot of experience in building out these standards in the past. So we're trying to ensure that both are true, that yes, your NFTs are going to be interoperable kind of like within the classic Web3 sense, but also kind of moving forward into actually being able to implement them within immersive experiences. But that's a longer conversation. And I think we'll probably have to release a white paper around that at some point.
Thanks, Will. I think we're out of questions. So thanks everyone for joining us for this walkthrough. Basically, as a reminder, we're going to be dropping 2 limited edition quests this afternoon, and testing of this NFT Playground will start at 2 p.m. UTC on Monday morning. So our sort of ask for the community over the next couple of days is to just spread the word. The more people we can get started testing on Monday simultaneously, the better it'll be for us from an engineering perspective. So going to be doing my job to keep you all updated and hyping up this launch as always. And if you've got any additional questions, feel free to drop them in Testnet discussion, AMA questions. Heck, I'm even checking general. So just keep us posted. We're watching, we're here for you, and we are so excited to drop this. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.